Hey there, guys. All right, today we are back with some more geography now. We have finished the Koreas, and now we are on to Kuwait, a little tiny nation in the Middle East that got invaded by Iraq at least once, maybe twice. I'm not sure. Perhaps 3 times, Kuwait, it's a little bit unlucky. But anyways, before we dive in, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. I would love it if you joined the Discord and followed me over at Twitch. Okay, let's go ahead and just dive straight into it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Geography Now. Thanks for your patience. I know you've been waiting.
It's time to learn geography now!
It's a new intro. I don't know how I feel about it. I like the classic.
Everyone, I'm your host Barbs. Yeah, we got a whole new set of intros, outros, and transition slides. Ken made them. Follow him on Instagram, give him a round of applause. Now, when we cover Arab countries, I try really hard to explain how each of them is unique and distinguishable from the others. I mean, clearly a Yemeni will be pretty different from a Lebanese person. So what makes Kuwait stick out? Well, let's find out by starting out with another cool transition slide.
Ooh. Oh, that was clean. That was clean. Yeah.
Last time we were in the Gulf, was it Bahrain or no, it was Iran. No, it was Iraq. Yes, Iraq. Yeah, this place has a lot of interesting people surrounding it. First of all, Kuwait is located on the northeastern corner of the Arabian Peninsula, at the tip of the Persian Gulf, bordered by Saudi Arabia and Iraq. You called it Persia. We've been over this like 4 times. I'm not doing it again. The country owns 9 main islands, the largest being Bubayan, right at the border with Iraq, on the Qasr al-Zubair waterway. The capital is Kuwait City, located on the bay, whereas the country is divided into 6 governorates. The country is currently almost complete with finishing the Sheikh Jabr al-Ahmad al-Sabah Causeway, which is set to cross the bay, connecting the main city, Kuwait City, to the northern part, effectively cutting traffic in half. The largest city is, of course, Kuwait City, which also holds the country's one and only international airport, Kuwait International, whereas the other airports are just for military use, like the U.S. military base Camp Buring. The largest cities outside of Kuwait City's metropolitan area would be Abdali in the north and Al-Wafra in the south. However, the country is hoping that a ton of people will move into the Sabah al-Ahmad Sea City after completion, known for being the opposite and more eco-friendly version of Dubai's Palm City, because it's like...
Hey Emirates, what are you doing?
Yeah, what's up? I'm just making artificial islands.
How does that work?
Well, see, I siphoned the land up from the bottom of the sea up, and then voila, a new island appears.
Well, wouldn't that like actually destroy most of the coral reefs and kill all the fish?
What, you got like a better idea on how to make
Well,
islands?
actually, I do. You see, in Kuwait, we just build artificial waterways and let the sea naturally funnel through them through tidal gates. That way, we don't destroy the ecosystem.
Okay.
Fucking tell him, Kuwait. Fuck yeah.
Okay, here's like 50 dirham. Just shut up. Okay, just shut up.
That's cute. My currency is way higher in value than yours.
Oh, you... Otherwise, some places of interest might include places like the Old Souk, Avenues Mall, Aqua Park, the Scientific Museum, Jabr al-Ahmad Cultural Center, Al-Mubarakia, Kuwait Towers, 360 Mall, the Mirror House, Jabr al-Ahmad Stadium, Al-Shahid Park, Al-Hamra Tower and Mall. And another weird but kind of cool thing that maybe you can check out, if you go to the northern border with Iraq, you can see all the residue from the Gulf War times with destroyed oil fields that have solidified.
I don't know if I want to see that, Barbie.
Into tar. And near the south, you can see a ton of industrial pipelines and refinery buildings. That's where Kuwait's little secret lies. Perfect opportunity for us to jump into the next part, shall we?
Okay, I don't care for the physical geography transition. That one wasn't as clean.
Those of you that know at least a little bit about Kuwait, images of the burning oil fields from the 90s Gulf War are probably what get conjured up when you hear the word Kuwait. Fair enough. I mean, that was a thing that happened. I mean, they are the world's 3rd largest oil producer, holding about 104 billion barrels in reserves, almost 10% of the entire world's supply, mostly found in Bergen Field. But hey, there's a little bit more to Kuwait than just oil.
Like what?
Water.
Water?
Water. Now, if you watched one of our previous episodes that I loved researching so much that I literally went there because I was curious, Bahrain, you'll probably know how Kuwait, a dry, desolate desert country with no permanent bodies of water, gets its water.
Rain?
No.
Wells?
Not really.
Waterfalls?
I said no permanent water bodies.
Waterfalls aren't necessarily permanent. They can halt if conditions cause such a thing to occur.
Okay, that's true, but...
Okay, Barbs, you clearly need some help. Kuwait, like many other countries, gets hydrated primarily through desalination plants. In fact, Kuwait was the first country...
Dude, his teeth are so perfect. And his biceps, too. What the fuck, dude? Not fair. Hand him over. I don't want to look huge. Your shoulders, too. And that. And
country in the world to introduce desalinization as a primary supplier of water to a large-scale population back in the 50s. The iconic landmarks symbolizing the nation, the Kuwait Towers, are in themselves water towers that store up water. Well, these two are, but this one holds equipment and controls the power of these two, and this one also has a cafe and rotating restaurant on top in this smaller sphere thing.
Thank you, Noah. You guys asked for more of Noah, so I gave it to you. All right, my turn. Let's see. The highest point is only about 110 meters tall. There's the Bubayang Island Wetland Conservation where birds flock to. The national animal is the golden falcon. On all those Shamal winds from Iraq that we talked about in the Iraq episode make Kuwait generally colder than its neighbors. Seriously, sometimes you see people wearing this, which is called a bisht. This was actually sent to me in the Jamaica Flag/Fan Friday episode, in which one of you guys, an actual Kuwaiti person, Abdul Aziz, you sent it to me. I actually get to use your gift in the Kuwait episode. Isn't that cool? You rock, man. Also, he sent these sandals and this fan. Speaking of which, summers can be swelteringly hot. It's not uncommon to reach over 50 degrees Celsius.
Fuck no.
It's so hot that they literally had to change their national day from June 19th to February 25th to allow the people to celebrate comfortably and not die outdoors. Otherwise, outside of oil, Kuwait used to be known for having some of the most sought-after pearls harvested from wild oysters. The problem was, somewhere in like 1916, this happened.
I'll never lose this industry. I'm on top of the world.
Wait, why don't I just cultivate these oysters and artificially graft them so that I can manufacture pearls on a large and controlled scale?
Oh no, you little.
And that's kind of how that ended. But yeah, again, oil. So yeah. Security cushion! But anyway, enough on all that. Let's see another cool transition slide, shall we? Cool.
The first transition was clean. Then the demographics being in a in a stadium.
Kuwaiti. That's what you call these people. Kuwaitis. Not Kuwaitian, not Kuwaitian, not Kuwaitanese. Kuwaiti. All right, first of all, the country has about 4.2 million people and is the second richest GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council country after Qatar. Remember, guys, Qatar, not Qatar. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. Out of
Qatar.
all the people in Kuwait, only about...
I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep saying it that way because I'm a fucking American. All right? All right?
30% are actual Kuwaiti people and citizens whom identify as Arab as well. About 70% of the country is populated by...
Also, like, what? Understand is Qatar, but like, what? Why spell it with the A between the T and the R if it's not Qatar? Like, come on, you confuse me.
By non-citizen expatriates. You get a lot of this type of population dynamic in the Gulf countries. Don't be too shocked. Wait till we get to Qatar. Out of the remaining 70% of expatriates, another 30% or so are Arabs coming from places like Iraq and Egypt, while the remainder of the population mostly comes from a slew of Asian countries, mostly Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, India, even some Filipinos tagging along. The small 3% or so are made up of Africans and Europeans, again, mostly expats. They also use the Kuwaiti dinar as their currency, which as of 2018 is the highest valued currency in the world. They use the type C and G plug outlets, and they drive on the right side.
Let's fucking go. Yeah. The right side of the road. It's correct. Britain and a certain amount of other countries that I'm forgetting how many there are that drive on the wrong side of the road. Get right. Ooh.
Of the road. Oh, by the way, for those of you that don't know, an expat is like, how can I put it? It's like this.
I'm rich, but I don't want to hire my own countrymen because they're all rich and won't work for me. Plus, they're kind of whiny and lazy. You know, I need a cheap but desperate workforce.
I'll do it.
Great. So, okay, you can like legally live here for a long time, but remember, you do not actually belong here and most likely never will. Okay?
Okay.
Whoa, you actually became a citizen.
Yeah, I married a Kuwaiti and paperwork was pretty easy after that, so, you know.
Awesome. You're one of us now. Welcome to the rare few. Oh, by the way, you're too expensive now, so you're fired.
Keep in mind, Kuwaiti citizens do work. It's just mostly high-end positions, as they rarely ever find themselves in lower-tier jobs that are filled by expats. Oh, and keep in mind, being a GCC citizen is like highly valued in the Arab world. But anyway, what does it mean to be a Kuwaiti, and how is it different from all the other Gulf countries? That's a little hard to answer, but I asked you guys, the Kuwaiti subscribers, and this is what you said. For one, Kuwait is kind of a monarchy run by a crown prince, today it being this guy. However, they have a strange inheritance law in which an emir and prince kind of alternate the rule. It's hard to understand, but yeah, sometimes there can be an emir, sometimes a crown prince, whatever, Kuwait. Also, Kuwait has a lot more Shias, estimated to be anywhere as high as 40% of the population, but numbers are hard to come by. Otherwise, in addition to Bahrain, Kuwait has some of the freest religion laws in the Gulf. Christians make up
Nice.
about 17% of the population, mostly expats. Churches have been built, and around 400 Kuwaiti citizens in themselves are Christians. Otherwise, all other religions, mostly Hindus and Buddhists, make up the remaining 13 or so percent of expats, and they're allowed to worship freely as well. Kuwaitis have a little accent. Apparently, most of them pronounce their J's like Y's, so the word for new, jadid, would be pronounced yidid. Kuwait is the only place where you can find robot camel races with remote-controlled jockeys. It used to be children jockeys, but then there was like a child abuse law thing going on to cancel it, yada yada yada. Ah, boo, you people are so soft on your kids. Kuwaitis supposedly also wear their clothes a little differently. This is what I was told. Yo, Ken, I need you to model for me.
Just trying to explain clothing customs based on what Kuwaiti told me. Hey.
For men, the thobes, or dishtashas as it's referred to in Kuwait, have collars popped up, single button with a slim fit. And now this, the ghotra and agal. Now every area wears it differently and there's like an art to it, but I've been told the Kuwaiti style is balanced and even looking. Also, I think most of them would probably wear a white ghotra, not a plaid red one. Sorry, this was a gift given to me from Geography Sultan when I was in Saudi Arabia. Thanks, man. Dude, I love this. I love using your gifts in episodes. Thank you, Ken.
Great.
As for women, Kuwaiti women are disputably the least likely to wear hijabs in public in the GCC. Some just settle for hair caps, but you can tell if a woman is Kuwaiti or an expat based off of whether or not she wears big sunglasses with something maybe leathery and jewelry, makeup, and has a luxury brand purse. And the same kind of goes for all GCC women. Speaking of women, Kuwait is known for having the best models in the Gulf, as well as some of the most popular soap operas in the entire Arab world. Kuwait, like many other Arab states, has quite a few tribes and clans, but the two biggest ones are the Handar, city dwellers, and the rural Bedouins. But keep in mind, Bedouins are like everywhere in the Arab world. They're nomads. They're like that weird retired uncle who sold his house and drives around in an RV every day for the rest of his life. Anyway, history time. Bani Utub settle in the area and start fishing. They become famous for their boats. Alexander the Great, Persians, Rashidun Caliphate, pretty much every other caliphate after that. Ottomans get a little touchy. East India Company gets in on it. They sign a treaty and become a British protectorate to fend off the Ottoman Empire. Great Depression hits hard. 1961 independence. Iran-Iraq war messed things up a bit. Kuwait does not forgive Iraq's debt. Tension begins. Iraq invades. Gulf War. Shortly after, they prosper once again. 2005, women got the right to vote and run in elections. HDI becomes one of the highest in the Arab world. And here we are today. And to close off this segment, some notable people from Kuwait might include people like Safa al-Hashim, Abdul al-Hussein Abdul Reha, Nawal, Abdullah Ruashid, Dafi, Badr al-Mutawa, Fahyad al-Dehani, Humud al-Khiter, Marzouk al-Qanim, and Salah al-Ajeri. Kuwait is known for being the level-headed
Not
loved one
know
of the
any
Gulf,
of
which is
them.
why they
Nope.
cooperate so well in the area. Let's discuss more of that in our final new transition slide segment of
Okay, I also don't like that one because why are they using a bowling ball? I mean, what the fuck? A wrecking ball? Oh man.
Okay, so once again, I'm pretty sure you're all aware of the fact that the GCC countries are close and will probably be mentioned in the segment as Kuwait's best friends. However, let's break down the GCC just a little bit so you have a little bit more insight. Saudi Arabia is like the big Mac Daddy kingpin, head honcho. The UAE and Qatar are like fraternal twins that hate each other. Bahrain is Saudi Arabia's girlfriend that is always getting hit on by Iran. Oman is like the wise old uncle, and Yemen is like his loud ex-wife. And then comes in Kuwait, the older
The ex-wife that Saudi Arabia beats up frequently.
attractive, quieter sister of the Gulf who usually mediates between all this drama. Iraq is like the ex-boyfriend that she hooked up with and then broke up with multiple times, and while they're on break, she kind of had a fling with Qatar, but broke that off too. But when the Gulf states were all against him, she still kind of remembered the good times and was like, no comment. Outside of the region though, Kuwait actually kind of favors the US and UK due to the historical ties of being a protectorate under the UK, and also the US helping out with getting rid of her ex-boyfriend's drunken invasion back in the Gulf War. When it comes to their best friends though, most of the Kuwaitis I've talked to has said, in the end, Saudi Arabia. Even though some small issues have popped up here and there, Saudis and Kuwaitis are siblings that will always have a strong bond that goes back thousands of years, back to the humble fishing village days when it all began. In conclusion, Kuwait was kind of like the first one to really kick off the whole managing an exponential prosperous Gulf nation thing into the 20th century. And through modernization, through the battles, through the drama, they still somehow come out with Gucci bags. Stay tuned, for real this time. Kyrgyzstan is coming up next. Yeah, see what I did there? Because, you know, in the South Korea episode, I had to forget it. Just cut into the outro.
And that was Geography Now, Kuwait. Yeah. It was alright. I liked the parts when Noah was here. Came back. Need more Noah. He's always a great time. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.